All right, Bobby. We got
Yes,
to see
brother man.
something in theaters this weekend. We haven't
Oh,
seen,
it was electric.
dude, 25.5 million domestically
Yeah, they
from
said
new
it's the.
movies.
I think it's up to 30 now.
Second most,
They
which
said
is
it
like
is the. It's the most grossing re-air in history.
in history. That's amazing. Now I need to go watch Sinners because apparently that got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, which
I've
is
never heard anything get 100% on Rotten Tomatoes
I think they're like one of, gosh, five or six that did. Like,
because you never see that.
no, you don't.
Revenge of the Sith, I don't even think got a 90,
Nope.
which Rotten Tomatoes is
So
flawed, in my opinion.
if Sinners got that, then jeez,
Yeah, it must be on hell of a movie.
yeah. So I gotta go see it. Chance, you gotten a chance to go see it, buddy? I ain't even working.
No, I'm going Sunday.
You going Sunday? Hell yeah! And I know you're knee deep in a playoff run, brother. What a win!
Yeah.
We'll
Billy,
definitely
did
talk
your
about that.
theater have any of the cups or popcorn tins?
No, which is weird.
Mine
They
just
didn't
had the
have.
Darth Vader helmet. I wanted the
my-
cup that had like the movie poster.
I think they ran out of everything in my theater, to be honest with you, because I was
Yeah.
talking to a lady and they were like super busy all day, like super packed.
I
Like they
went
were so packed they
Thursday
added an
night.
extra. Yeah, they
I
added
mean,
an extra showing for
oh
Saturday
shit,
because they
okay.
were that busy on Friday night when it came out. So they were like, "We're gonna add an extra showing on Saturday."
So around here they put it out on Thursday.
Oh, okay,
Like I went with my buddy. We went to the 940 on Thursday.
nice.
I mean, the theater was only half full. I get it was a
Yeah, which
Thursday though.
yeah. Apparently,
Dude,
Sinners is
so
jam packed with people as
a
well.
tip I will give a tip for you guys if you have Cinemark near you, a Cinemark theater near you.
Okay.
So we got they're called D box seats. They move with the movie.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think
Like that
the
the opening scene, the Starfighter battle, your seat
oh
does this. Your seat like moves like you're in one of them. It's kind of crazy, not gonna lie.
hell yeah, dude, that's actually kind of sick.
It was.
Um, all right, so
What a move.
yeah, damn. Anyway, it's gonna take more than one to win this hockey game anyway. Just didn't get there in time. Shit. Anyway, we just had the NFL draft, boys. Huh? I, I think the four of us are feeling pretty good about our teams after they drafted. Obviously, right, what we're about to do is completely pointless because we don't have a fucking clue. We have no
What are you
idea.
talking about?
We have no idea. We don't know shit about fuck. All these guys could pan out to be Hall of Famers, or they could be in the league for 3 years and we never see them again, or maybe just venture off to the UFL. Like we don't know. We have no idea. They might be working at Chance's
Uh,
chili chain. We in a year. We have no. We don't know. we don't know. Uh, so
Speak for yourself. Mike T was giving me phone calls about who I wanted to draft.
that's wise decision. Is that why you finally said, "Hey, asshole, we need a fucking quarterback"? Do you notice we don't have a QB yet?
They must know
Yeah, I
Rogers
guess.
is coming.
It seems like it, doesn't it? It
I think
just,
it was also in preparation. If he doesn't, you don't have to get stuck with Mason Rudolph.
yeah. You have Will Howard now, who's stuck. But
Yeah,
anyway,
if we don't get Rogers, I'm running Will Howard out there week one.
we are going to do we're gonna pick, I guess, our top three, Jason, or our favorite kind of teams
Top
who we
five.
thought did well. Okay, our top five teams who we thought did well in this draft. Kind of go into it. Again, we have no idea, right? Like we don't know nothing. Will Howard could have the greatest career of all time, or could again be working for Chance's Chili Chain in the next couple years. We don't know.
Oh, he has a degree from Ohio State. He might be a little more. He might be working better than Chili's.
You can be
I'm just
manager.
see he can
That's
be
true. He
manager.
could be
See
manager.
manager.
Yeah.
See there we go. Boom.
Nothing wrong with being a
Um.
manager at Chili's.
No, it's probably good money.
Yeah,
It's probably decent
still
living.
working on Terre Haute to bring one back.
Anyway, Jason, I'm gonna have you start, run it down, see what you think. I have a feeling I know the first one you're gonna say, even though you hate one of the picks you loathe one of the picks a lot. But take us through your five, man.
Yeah, so number 5, I got the Browns. I thought they had a really good draft. And before you get on me, they drafted twice in two different positions. Yeah, okay, they did. But I look at what they got for that number 2 overall pick in trading back to number 5. That trade with Jacksonville gave you the pick to go get Quinshon Judkins, as well as gave you the pick to go get Mason Graham at number 5, who I thought they could go with either way, but I think 2 was a little bit too high to take him. And then you ended up with Jacksonville's number 1 pick next year, which realistically, if you look at it, the Browns probably will be really bad again. The Jaguars probably going to be really bad again.
You could pick 1, 2 next year.
Yeah, we could end up with 2 top 5 picks next year. So I didn't hate their draft. I did hate one specific pick. I didn't quite understand. Ow.
I liked your pick Friday night with Dylan Gabriel, though.
That was a solid pick.
Yeah, there's a lot
I
of
liked
people.
that.
I don't quite understand that pick because
That
nobody
kind of
really
caught
had
me off guard.
Gabriel up there with the rest of those guys. Will you get your paw out of my butthole?
Jesus.
Easy, Tyler. Easy.
But I thought it was a good pick. You ended up with a quarterback who's played in a lot of good games, who played a lot of college football. He's a guy that's not going to get flustered by a big moment. And he runs a very similar offense to what you're going to run if Kenny Pickett's your quarterback, as well as if you're basing your offense on what Deshaun Watson can do. So I thought it was a pretty good pick. I thought it was a smart pick taking Gabriel. I really liked the Quinshon Judkins pick. I really liked the Harold Fannin Jr. pick.
See the tight end from BG?
Yeah, the tight end from Bowling Green that, based on stats, was the best tight end in the country last year. Again, I say based on stats because obviously Tyler Warren was the best tight end in the country last year. I don't understand the Shedeur pick, especially because you took Gabriel. Now, with Watson still listed on your depth chart, you have 5 quarterbacks listed on your depth chart, which makes no sense. Now, obviously, something's going to have to happen between now and the start of the regular season. So we'll see how many of them actually still are on the roster. But it just makes no sense.
Yeah, having 5 quarterbacks in your system is a little bit interesting. You have old man Flacco again. You have Pickett, who you traded for, who I think we all thought was going to start for at least a year, or be the number 2 to whoever you bring in during the draft. And then you have Deshaun, who's not going to be playing anytime soon. And now you've drafted Dylan Gabriel, which again, Bobby, you mentioned it, solid pick.
Yeah.
And then you drafted Shedeur.
Yeah, I mean the Dylan Sampson pick kind of was out there too. I didn't quite expect them to take Dylan Sampson. I'm not upset with it because he was a really good running back. And if you're gonna move on from Jerome Ford, I'm not upset with a double rookie system. You know, obviously you're gonna have Quinshawn and Ford as your two. But if you're looking to move on from Quinshawn Judkins, then I don't hate that you went out and got a running back like Dylan Sampson.
Yeah.
What?
Because I mean, the running back position was another question that needed to be answered, right? Um, again, not signing Nick Chubb back to the team.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a good pick. I don't. The only pick I have a problem with is Shadur, and that's just because I didn't want the sideshow. Plus, we didn't really need another quarterback at the time. But it
And
is
it's
what
all
it
breaking.
is. Number 4, Bobby, you'll like this one. I had Pittsburgh. They address their needs. You've got a really good defensive tackle to learn from Cam Hayward that plays very similar to Cam Hayward. You got another edge rusher in Jack Sawyer. You got a quarterback that a lot of people think is going to be pretty good. And you filled a couple of other spots that you weren't too sure about. I don't know how much this cornerback you drafted in the 7th round is going to play.
Yeah, I don't either. I think that was just like a.
I do like going out and getting a running back for Caleb Johnson for you guys, though.
That dude's a unit.
The good thing for him and for, I think it's Yaya Black.
Yeah, that dude's a unit. He's 6'6", 330.
They don't have to. It's going to look like they're still playing in college because
Yeah.
Iowa wears the exact same uniforms as Pittsburgh. So they'll know who to hit and who not to hit.
Exactly.
Number 3, I had Tennessee. I thought Tennessee had a really good draft. Obviously, you had the number 1 pick, so you got your guy in Cam Ward.
Who's going to be a star?
But I look at your 4th round picks when it comes to Tennessee. Chimere Dike, wide receiver out of Florida. I think he's going to be really good. He's a big receiver.
Yeah.
You got to get weapons for your quarterback to throw to. Gunnar Helm, who had a really good game against Ohio State in the playoff and was a big piece of the Texas offense all last year. And then Alec Manor, the wide receiver out of Stanford, a lot of people had going late 1st round, early 2nd round, and you got him late 4th round.
Yeah.
Another good receiver, I believe. Yeah, 6'2", 206. And DK's 6'1", 196. But DK also was a really good punt returner. And then getting Kevin Winston in the 3rd round with the way that he played at Penn State, you know what they expect out of their safeties there. I think that was a really good pick. And then Oluwafemi Oladejo.
Very hard name to say.
Oladejo. The edge rusher out of UCLA. I mean, they had him projected possibly in the 1st round. You got him late 2nd round. So I felt like they had a really good draft. Number 2. There were a lot of teams that, I mean, like Tampa Bay, I don't have them.
I liked Tampa's draft.
They had a good draft, but the only thing I look at with them is you went wide receiver, corner, edge, wide receiver. Now, you did get 2 really good wide receivers out of it, but you only drafted 3 positions. Number 2, I take Baltimore. I think Baltimore had a great draft.
They had a lot of picks, too. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, you ended up with Malachi Starks late in the 1st round, who was a really good pick. You ended up somehow having Mike Green fall to you in the 2nd round, late 2nd round. And then you ended up with a really good offensive lineman out of LSU and Emory Jones, who I think fits in well with the way that Baltimore wants to play. And like you said, Billy, they had just a ton of picks. I mean, it felt like they were picking every other pick towards the end.
Yeah.
They had 2, 4, 5 picks in the 6th round alone. They got a kicker. Obviously, this is unprecedented territory for Baltimore. They need a kicker because theirs decided to go to the Deshaun Watson School of Massages. But I think they got a good kicker. I definitely thought there was going to be a couple kickers taken in this draft. But
Steelers signed a kicker, undrafted free agent.
yeah, I mean, they'll start signing here soon.
They got the dude from Pitt.
That would take a kicker in the 6th round as opposed to taking Schur. Trading out of that pick in the 5th round, getting a 6th or 7th, and end up taking a kicker. I thought that's what they would do. They did not do that. And then number 1, I had the New York Giants.
I think they had the best draft as well.
The Giants had, in my opinion, the best draft. They addressed every single need they had. You got a key edge rusher in Abdul Carter to play alongside Kayvon Thibodeau, traded back into the 1st round to go get your quarterback. You ended up in the 3rd round with a really good defensive tackle out of Toledo. Dude's a freaking unit.
Yeah.
But he's quick off the ball. He's a really good defensive tackle. And then their 4th and 5th round picks are what really do it for me. Getting Cam Skattebo in the 4th round, when obviously your number 1 running back left last year in free agency in Saquon, so you had to fill that need. And then you got Marcus Embo, the guard out of Purdue, who a lot of people thought would go 2nd or 3rd, but not fall lower than the 4th round. You got him in the 5th round. So I felt like the Giants had the best draft to address the needs that they had.
I agree with that.
All right. Bobby, let's go to you, buddy. Let's go to you, champ, world champ, NFL prediction, Pick'em's champ. Let's go to you.
So I also had the Giants at 1. I thought they killed the draft.
It's not often
you
we're
got-
able to say that about a New York team.
Yeah. I mean, you addressed every issue you had. They also made the free agent moves with them that kind of caught me a little off guard. Was getting Russ and Jameis Winston. That one I was a little caught off guard with.
Yeah.
Angie took Jackson Dart.
Yeah. Well, I think the Dart pick was
Jackson Dart's the future.
trying to build. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was trying
He's
to
the
build their
future.
future.
Yeah.
He's
But
going to
to
learn from Russ for
Russ
however
and-
long Russ is there.
To learn from Russ and Jameis, I mean, it's not a bad thing. Jameis knows how to be a pro, so does Russell. But Russ knows how to win. He's been to Super Bowls. Jameis
Yeah.
hasn't quite been there. He'll just teach you to throw to the wrong team, but he'll also let you know that LASIK is probably really good for you. So
He'll also teach you how to give some of the best. He'll teach you how to give a hell of an interview.
and some pretty good pregame speeches.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah.
have steel
The best-
crab legs.
The best
Yeah.
interview and pregame speeches of all time. So, yeah. You're going to learn mentality from Jameis and learn how to win from Russ.
Yep.
Combine. This is going to.
Who'd you
Sold
have
that. What a
Could
sell
you
by
have
Wilson.
it 2 through 5, Bobby? Slugger.
At number 2, this one might be kind of catch you a little off guard for me that I picked. I had the Patriots at 2.
They had a really good draft.
They did.
I mean,
They had a
you
lot of picks as well.
you got one hell of a running back in the 2nd round with Travion Henderson.
Yeah.
Will Campbell, The offensive tackle, dude's a unit. I mean, there's no other way around it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go all in on
Mm-hmm.
uh, what's his face being your starter, Drake May being your starter, you got to get protection for him, and I think that Will Campbell can definitely do that. Mike Vrabel
Yeah.
will love Will Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby, what do you think of that first pick for them in the third round, getting Kyle Williams, another receiver they thought could go a lot higher?
I mean, I kind of thought that was a steal to get him in the third, honestly.
You got him with the fifth pick in the third. I mean,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, this year's wide receiver class was really good in college, but nobody really thought they'd be good NFL receivers.
Like, I honestly thought Williams was going to be a mid to late second.
Yeah, I thought so too. Who'd you have at 3, Bobby?
Three, I'm going to go with the Raiders here. I think they addressed some of the holes they had. I mean, you got, in my opinion, I'll say one of the top 3 running backs in the draft with Genty. The issue for him is going to be there's not much of an O-line to help him out. I think that could kind of hurt a little bit.
And he's going to have to put his strength to the test.
You got a hell of a wide receiver for Geno to throw to with Jack Beck.
Yeah, I thought their 2 receiver picks, because they took receiver back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Or not back to back, but they took one later. They actually took 3. But I thought the pick of Dante Thornton Jr. was interesting.
Yeah.
Because he's a big dude.
I mean, that Charles...
Good compliment to Beck.
I liked the Charles Grant or Gant pick, too. I forget if it's Grant or Gant.
Charles Grant out of William and Mary.
Yeah. The offensive tackle.
Yeah, he took offensive tackle back-to-back picks, 34 and 35.
I think that that addresses the issue a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's giving you 2... I mean, you're getting 2 big bodies that are both athletic.
Yeah,
which
but
that's
you're
the
also
biggest.
looking at another team that had a shit ton of picks in their pocket too. So
I mean, I think they drafted very well to kind of start a rebuild. Because some of the pieces they already have, like you look at Brock Bowers, he's a star. Or, I mean, he's been in the league for a year, but I'm saying he's a star.
yeah,
You
Well,
have
the
a
other-
quarterback that's going to
quarterback.
contend.
Cam Miller.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, North Dakota State produces NFL talent just like some of the best FBS programs.
yeah.
And
Well,
he gets a good quarterback to learn from in Geno.
yeah, exactly. Geno's not flashy, but he knows how to stay in games.
Yeah.
And I think you got some pieces to build around Geno to have a respectable team this year. If you stay with Geno from the start.
Yeah, and I mean, getting Jack Besh, I mean, obviously, if you don't follow college football, you don't know his story. But his brother was Tiger Besh. He was one of the people killed in New Orleans before the Peach Bowl. And the terror attacks that happened there. So for him to get drafted there, I think was really cool. The moment was really cool. But dude's a hell of a receiver.
Yeah.
And
Oh my god.
you look at what Vegas has been able to do with some of the receivers they've had, and you pair him and Dante Thornton with Brock Bowers, and you add Ashton Genty into that mix, your skill positions look good.
Yeah, it's the rest that could be a bit shaky.
Yeah, the O line, but you address that, I think, with your two offensive tackle picks. And then it's just trying to fill in and find guys that can fit in the defense,
Hmm.
fit around Max Crosby.
Well, they got an edge rusher, I believe, too.
Yeah, they took Cody Lindenberg's a linebacker. They took him in the 7th round. They took Tonka Hemingway, great name.
Yeah.
Defensive tackle out of South Carolina. He's 6'3", 284.
I think the linebacker, though, that they picked is kind of like that hybrid.
Yeah, which we're seeing a lot more people go to. He was a linebacker out of Minnesota, 6'2", 236. You know, he was a pretty good linebacker. And coming out of the Big Ten, you know you're going to face good running teams, so you know he can play against the run.
Yeah. And it's a very physical breed of football, too.
Yeah, yeah. And then D tackle, they got JJ
Twice, Logan. Come
Luis,
on, dude.
D tackle out of Ole Miss. He's 6'3", 309.
Yeah, it's a big body to plug up the middle.
Yeah, so you got some guys to put up the middle and hopefully help open up Max Crosby
Hmm.
because he's your dude.
Oh, yeah. Then I also had the Steelers at number 4. I thought they did a great job of addressing all the issues we had on paper. I definitely noticed a trend. Some of these draft picks were definitely kind of formulated to avoid what happened in that playoff game where Baltimore just ran all over you. I think you made some big moves to kind of beef up your run defense.
Yeah, dude, Derek
Which,
Harmon takes up a lot of space in there.
yeah, and the other guy they have listed at 6'5", I think 335, or 6'6", 335. Like it could take 3 guys to block him.
Yeah. Bug, you need to settle.
And then I loved the Jack Sawyer pick. I think you can work him in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and I mean the good thing, like you know, you and I talked about, the only thing I worry about is he may not get the playing time, but
Yeah,
the
but
two guys
I
that would be
liked,
ahead of him do get hurt a lot.
yeah, that's why to me that pick, I'm all for that pick. Knowing that the past few seasons, Watt and Highsmith haven't been healthy together a whole lot.
Yeah.
So I think Sawyer actually sees a good bit of playing time. Like those plays where Watt or Highsmith comes out for a breather, I plug Sawyer right in.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be a good pass rusher. He can play against the run, and you know that, you know, Tomlin likes to mix up his coverages and maybe drop a D end into coverage. We've seen it with TJ Watt. Jack Sawyer fits that really well as well.
He's built a lot like TJ Watt is.
Yeah.
And
And he
I
doesn't
mean,
hurt that he has Highsmith and
Jesus
Watt.
Christ.
yeah, as kind of mentors.
Yeah.
Then
Fuck
obviously the
Rush,
two
guys.
D
Get stopped.
tackles get to learn from one of the best D tackles in the game with Cam Hayward.
Yeah.
I think the Harmon
Fuck's
pick was
sake.
kind of we know you're not going to be around much longer, Cam. This is the guy we think is going to turn into you.
Yeah, this is the guy we want you to work with because we think you can help turn him into a superstar.
Yeah. Which
Which,
he has the makings to be one.
yeah, Derek Harmon was a force, especially in that first game against Ohio State. Obviously, the second game, nothing for the Oregon defense worked.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think he's going to end up
I mean,
being
he made his presence known in in the Rose Bowl game.
Yeah,
I just
he plays. He just wasn't as effective as he was in
because
the first game.
I think there was a lot more of a game plan built to kind of take him out of it after how much of an impact he had that first game.
Yeah. Who would you say had the fifth best draft?
I'm going to say Baltimore. I
Yeah.
hate to say Baltimore, but
It's just
that,
tough when a team has that many picks and
mhm,
addresses that many needs.
yeah. I mean, I have kind of 5A and 5B as Baltimore and Cleveland. They're kind of interchangeable, I think. Because, I mean, the issue with Baltimore is there really wasn't that many issues to address.
No, but you filled in spots that you needed filled in, and then you found backups because they have had injury
Hmm.
problems, and that's what's killed them a few of the times in the playoffs. And you filled in with, I think, players that can fill in pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, the Steelers addressed a lot of their issues in free agency, too. Getting a guy like Darius Slay.
Well, thank you, Bobby. Chance, quickly while we're at an intermission of this hockey game, give me your five, buddy.
But I didn't watch a single bit of the draft.
You watch Silver Draft. Okay, never mind. I will do my five then. These aren't really in any order. But I'll give you my top five. Just five winners. I thought Vegas did a pretty good job. Obviously, getting a running back the caliber of Ashton from Boise State. I mean, we all saw what he did last year. Like, no one's been even close to breaking that record, and he was right there,
Got
right? Like,
robbed of a Heisman.
yeah. I mean, a good TCU wide receiver, Jack Beck. I thought that was a great one. You went and got Darian Porter, who was a stud all year. Stirred up your O line a little bit with Caleb Rogers, Charles Grant. Getting a receiver like Thornton, a tall, big, just stacked unit of a wide receiver, could be mistaken for a tight end. And Thornton Jr. in the fourth round was big.
Yeah, to pair
Um,
that with Brock Bowers was.
I think my
He was
only,
one of those guys too. Um, you don't look at stats so much with him. You look at the intangibles that he brings
yeah,
because he really didn't have that great of stats at Tennessee, but a big body receiver that can make a contested catch and has breakaway speed I would say plays pretty well in the NFL.
yeah.
Yeah.
They kind of lost me with the last three, at least the two of the last three picks. Tommy Mellott, I don't know. There's a lot of question marks surrounding him. Wide receiver out of Montana State, and then I know you just signed Gino, but he's 34. He's going to be 35 before the season starts. You got him on a 3-year deal, but like, are you looking at him as the guy you want to build your, you know, rebuild around? That's my question. You go and get Cam Miller out of North Dakota State. Again, a lot of questions, not enough answers. That was definitely a depth move. They need depth in the quarterback position. I get it. But if you want a depth move, go to free agency. Go get a veteran behind the veteran in case that veteran gets hurt. Go get an established guy who's
Yeah, because
willing to
you are
take.
kind of. If Gino goes down, you're not. It's nothing like, hey, rookie, you're getting thrown into the fire here.
Yeah, and that's a hard thing to do. Now, Cam Miller is, he is a stud, but it's just questions, right? I think the one answer is their quarterback of the future. You know, where where does that come from? You need that if you're Las Vegas. That kind of you can go out and get all these skilled players, and you can go out and get studs like Genty. You can go get studs like Beck, Darian Porter, right, to fill up your defense and get a good core of wide receivers. But at the end of the day, you need your guy to throw him the football. They have.
You
It's
would have to be an Aqua Teen fan, wouldn't you? You have to be a Turbo fan. Absolutely. Let's get into Santa Corky's going to take Tyler. He's going to
What is happening right now?
take Michael Norris because the last 2 nights, the driver that started sixth has won the race. Ran
It's
on
very
Friday, tore him
loud.
last night. But I'm going to pick
Let's
the guy
go,
that led
dude.
31 laps last night.
Sorry.
He's going to get a
I
second
think
win
he
at
did.
Port Royal.
There we go.
Another
I
team
took my earbud off and put it by the laptop speaker. That could have been the issue.
another team another team I think that kind of won draft day was Houston. The only issue is they needed to shore up an O line, and they didn't. They only got
That was-
one offensive lineman.
Yeah, that was the issue that I had about their draft.
That was the glaring issue, and you got one round two. Now they didn't have a first round pick, so
Yeah, that was
hard
I
to go out
think-
there and get one. But
Wasn't that part of the Diggs trade? Was they gave up their first?
yes, but you lost. You're down Tank Dell next year. Nico
You're probably
Collins is
down
always
Diggs
in and
for a
out.
good bit of the year.
You're down Stephon Diggs now.
For a little bit.
I think he's gone. I think he's a free agent. See you later.
He's in New England.
Yeah, he's in New England
Yeah,
now.
that's right.
Tank
So-
Dell's nowhere to probably coming back anytime soon.
No.
Yeah.
You did go get two of the best wide receivers out of Iowa State out of their core because they had a lot of seniors this year. Jaden Higgins, Jalen Knoll, two studs. You're getting two guys who played with each other already. They're going to play on either side of the field. They're going to be studs. Going to be fun. Jalen Smith, cornerback, good. No problems there. Woody Marks was more of a depth move there. Same with Graham Mertz out of Florida. Jalen Reed, safety out of Penn State. Jason, you would know more because you watched the Big Ten a little bit more than I did.
I mean,
Luke
him
Late.
and Kevin Winston were the two best defensive backs they had.
Yeah,
So to get him when you did,
is a solid move.
yeah, he's going to fill in nice because I think the back end of that defense is really where Houston had questions.
Yeah,
So I don't necessarily think it addressed the whole the
Yeah.
problem of your secondary, but it did help. I think
did
he'll
help
be
a
a
lot.
solid option. He'll be one of those few late round picks that I think is going to play a lot.
Who ended up with that absolute unit of a D tackle from Florida?
He's not out yet, I don't think.
Oh, I thought he was.
The big dude, the real big dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think he's. I think he's only a sophomore. I think he'll be a junior this upcoming year.
Okay. Because I saw a bunch of
and-
stuff about him. I didn't realize it. I didn't know if he was draft eligible or not.
I'm going to talk about it because Chance obviously didn't watch, but I know he knows who we picked.
Hold on. I do have one more prop to give to Houston. The tight end they took out of Iowa.
Luke Leahy.
Yep, his dad is the color commentary guy for the Ohio State radio team. For football.
And Luke Leahy is a fucking stud.
Grandview Heights kid, so he knows CJ Stroud, I'm sure. So I think that was more of a comfort move. You know, if we need to go to a tight end outside of Cade Stover, we now
Yeah.
have two tight ends that know CJ Stroud, so it works out.
Didn't you-
Plus,
didn't you
he's
start
playing
Dalton
at
Schultz,
Iowa.
too?
I mean, look at the last Iowa tight end that
Tight
was
end you.
taken late in the draft.
George Kittle.
George Kittle. I don't think he'll be the next George Kittle, but Iowa produces really, really good tight ends.
I got to talk about the home team here. Got to talk about Green Bay Packers. I thought they did phenomenal. Chance, I know you can talk about it because you know who we picked.
This was the only team I did watch.
Yeah, I mean, you did something that you haven't done in over 20 years.
Yeah, Chance, how much did you celebrate when they drafted Matthew Golden with their first pick?
I was pretty happy. I mean, I was in the middle of an arena. Luckily, it was intermission. I got to stand up and cheer for that one.
I can see
was
Chance
good.
standing up. Woo!
You
Sit
know.
back down.
Thought about
Going
doing
out-
a Go Pack Go chant, but I'm in the heart of St. Louis.
Yeah,
Probably more Bears fans than there are anybody else.
Yeah.
garbage.
Hey, not only did they get you one wide receiver, They got you
Got
two pretty good wide
I'm
receivers.
more
two
I'm more
stud wide
excited for the
receivers.
Savion Williams, the
I
kid out of
know.
TCU.
Yeah,
I mean, he's like a Swiss Army knife.
he
He can play
is.
in the backfield, play in the slot, play outside. He can return kicks. I mean, they compared him to Cordell Patterson.
Yep.
How about the fact too that your fourth round selection was there in the green room, and he
Baron
just so
Sorrell,
happens, yeah,
Stud.
Baron Sorrell,
Sorrell,
just
yeah,
so
I don't know.
happens to get picked by the host city, like the host team, and the commissioner comes out and he almost gets like that first round treatment. I thought that was awesome.
That was awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
deserved. I feel like that was a steal for us right there, giving him number 4. But I mean, to have a wide receiver the caliber of Matthew Golden is pretty fucking fantastic.
I thought if Tampa didn't jump up to take Ibuka, you guys were going to take Emeka Ibuka.
I thought it was one of the two because both of. I mean, I know everybody goes on those top 30 visits, but from everything that I saw on the insides, it was going to be one of the two.
Yeah. Getting a
Golden,
Now, I
Golden's
might
pretty
be
good.
biased because I watched them all year, but Georgia getting a defensive tackle like Warren Brinson,
I mean, we got two defensive tackles from Georgia now in that
yeah,
draft.
Warren Brinson is a fucking monster.
Yeah, just
Like
don't let him drive.
6'6",
Well, good
345.
thing about
Just
Green Bay,
fucking
there's no highways. They're fine.
Yeah, and good thing they ride bikes to the practice
Yeah,
field.
we ride
yeah.
we ride bikes to training camp. I mean, there's no danger whatsoever.
No.
Well, the fact that they ride bikes might be the bad part when you have a Georgia defensive tackle. Their chance.
It's a
It's
lot
not
of
Grand
dignity.
Theft Auto.
I don't know much about the last two. John Williams out of Cincinnati, offensive guard. I mean, we loaded up in free agency with offensive guards and tackles that we needed. And
He's
Michael
going to be a
Robinson.
big body that can block pretty well in the run game.
It seemed
Uh,
like a depth piece for me, just in case your
he's
offensive line gets hurt.
6'4", 322, so he's a big dude.
Yeah.
But Cincinnati obviously had a really, really down year. But when you look at Cincinnati, they're typically a really good running team, and their O-line is usually what you look at.
Yeah, and then
Jason Kelsey out of Cincinnati.
mhm. Colin Oliver, don't know much there. I'm gonna have to do some tape on him. Another edge. We got two
Linebacker.
edges back to back, 4 and 5. Cool. And then round 7, the Michael Robinson from Tulane. From what I've read, he's been a shining light of Tulane because Tulane, another team that had a shit year. But
Yeah, but when you look at corners, a lot of times the main piece is their athleticism.
yeah,
Can they hang with NFL wide receivers? From what I'd seen on him pre-draft, he was a more athletic corner. And Tulane, yeah, they play in the American, but the American usually has pretty good receivers. I mean, you look at they had to play North Texas this year, who had a high-flying offense. So
yep.
he could be a hit or miss guy, I think, for you guys, but definitely a good pick to bring in a little athleticism into the secondary, especially because you never know what's going to happen with the secondary.
Oh yeah. I gotta go Los Angeles Chargers. I don't know why no one's talking about them very much. I mean, going out getting a Marion Hampton, Jesus.
The only issue I have there is they just signed Najee Harris.
Yes, but again, Najee getting a little older, right?
He's
How old is
24.
20, yeah.
is he? I thought he was older
Yeah,
than
he's
that.
not
Okay.
that. He hasn't been in the league that long.
Yeah,
He feels like he's
but
been in the league forever.
yeah, I know. Hampton and Najee they'll benefit because I mean
I think
Hampton, from what I've seen, isn't like Najee. It was a good move.
He's good in the game.
he's a speed back. I could see him returning punts or kickoffs.
Yeah, so you have a dual threat guy here who can return stuff, but can also be that speed guy. Add a little more dynamic offense to the Chargers. You go out, and I've been big on him since the beginning. Trey fucking Harris. I think he is a monster of a wide receiver. I thought he was a stud.
The only thing I don't like about LA's draft is if you look at the Chargers last year, what was their number one problem other than Johnston
Receiving.
couldn't hang on to a pass? Herbert had no time.
Yeah.
You could never establish a running game.
Yeah.
So I felt like they needed to go out and do more on the offensive line, and they took one guy.
Yeah. Branson
Bobby would
Taylor
know
out of
about
Pittsburgh.
him. Yeah. I mean, is that a guy that can start in the NFL, Bobby?
I think Bobby left us. We'll have to ask him when he gets back. But you
No,
go
he's
out and you go
he's
get an
still.
absolute monster of a defensive tackle. Jamari Caldwell out of Oregon. Holt was one of the centerpieces of that Oregon defense, of that Oregon line. Dude's a
Yeah,
stud.
6'2", 332. I mean,
I
he's going to
mean,
be a big body in there, but you play in the AFC West. That's my thing. The only team that's going to try to run the ball against you is the Raiders, and they don't have an offensive line to run.
yeah. Cal Kennard's a good edge. Numbers don't really shout out solid edge, but I think he's a solid edge. Branson Taylor, I think, will be okay. I think they went out. If I remember correctly, they went out and got a lot during free agency. R.J. Mickens out of Clemson is going to be a question mark. Bridges out of Florida, the corner, had his moments where he looked like he was going to be pretty, like, oh yeah, this guy can play in the NFL. And then there were those guys who's like, yep, this is why he's in college. So some
So
questions
what'd you
there.
say about Branson Taylor?
We were asking, they need help on the O-line. Do you think he's a guy that can come out and help them right away in the NFL?
He was a 4-year starter at Pitt, which, they're not a powerhouse by any means.
No, but they have had really good running games in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was a big piece. He was one of the more consistent guys.
And my last one is Philly.
He's
the
a
defending
very
champs.
athletic guy.
Yeah. My last one's Philly.
Philly had a pretty good draft.
You lost so much to free agency in terms of defense. Then you go out, you get Campbell with your number one pick. Round 2, you go get a safety who was a stud at Texas. Round 4, because you didn't have a round 3 pick, you go out and get Ty Robinson out of Nebraska. Question marks, but I've heard good things. Macman Williams out of UCF. Linebacker out of Georgia, which Georgia has provided you with phenomenal defensive players. So I don't see that stopping anytime soon. Go get a center. Depth move quarterback, and then it was depth. So you went out, you got your pretty much starters through those first 5 rounds. And then your next pick in round 5 all the way down, your next 5 picks, you went and got depth. And it's solid depth, right? Drew Kendall's a stud out of Boston College. Miles Hitton out of that school we don't mention, he was a freak of nature. Cameron Williams out of Texas, stud. And then Antoine out of Virginia Tech, I've heard amazing things about him, even though Virginia Tech was, hot garbage.
They
So
definitely look to shore up the defense in this draft. I mean, you
yeah,
took 1, 2, 4 of your picks. I mean, Miles Hinton's going to be a good blocker. You got a really good linebacker, which you did need to fill. But I don't know. I would have liked to have seen them gone out and gotten another wide receiver when they were on the board.
yeah. I mean, the first 5 picks, 2 linebackers, a safety, defensive tackle, cornerback. Pretty much, you got back what you lost in the offseason. Essentially, the Kyle McCord, that's a depth move. So, and I was also trying to be different. I do like what Pittsburgh did to get a quality quarterback. A quarterback who I thought should have been up there next to Cam Ward in terms of conversation, in terms of draft. And Jason, I've backed Will Howard all year. That man showed out in the playoffs. last year. I mean, dude was a stud. Getting Jack Sawyer was big for Pittsburgh there. So, yeah.
Very high on that pick.
Jason, what team confused you? What draft? Whose draft kind of confused you, or you were like, well, that doesn't do anything.
Cincinnati was one that I looked at.
Okay.
They were one I wasn't very high on what they did. Yeah, you needed edge, you needed linebackers, but I would say
I
that
think
my
I don't
offense
think they addressed their issues very well at all.
No, I mean, yeah, you needed edge rushers because you lost both of them. Okay, you got Shamar Stewart, but there were some offensive linemen that I probably would have gone after. There were some wide receivers that I probably might have looked to.
Yeah.
And no looking to trade whatsoever. I mean, they took their pick in the first 6 rounds. They didn't have their 7th round pick, but there was no thought to maybe move around or trade up to get the guy that you needed.
Yeah. Yeah. Bobby, what about you? Which one kind of confused you a little bit?
With the Bengals or just
Bengals?
any
Yeah.
team.
Any team.
I mean, I think Cincy's one of the biggest ones because I don't think they did anything to kind of address their issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, you helped your defensive side, but your biggest issue last year was Burrow had no time in the pocket. And I don't think you did anything to help that.
And your defense was a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A team that picked really solid players for me, but didn't really get everything that they needed or that I thought that they needed was San Fran. For me. You went out your first pick, you needed wide receivers because right now your biggest and probably only weapon at this point is Kittle. Samuel's gone. Ayuk is down. CMC, do we know? Is he going to be good? How is his Achilles? Both of them. That's a lingering thing. And the other question was Brock Purdy the answer to the question of getting you over the hump? They answered that question. It looks like they're going to pay Brock unless they plan on getting a free agent quarterback anytime soon. But you go out, you get a stud in Michael Williams, edge. Yeah, you needed it. Alfred Collins out of Texas, stud defensive tackle. I thought they had a pretty decent defensive unit. Nico Martin, linebacker, or Nick Martin, sorry, out of Oklahoma State. Then you went and get a corner, defensive tackle. You wait till round 4 to get a wide receiver, Jordan Watkins. Then you get a running back out of Oregon who was a stud, Jason. I think you can attest to that. Now, all the focus was kind of on Dylan Gabriel
I
and him
mean,
absolutely
the only
chucking
issue
the
I have
rock.
with taking Oregon running backs is the only thing they're good at is running fast.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not power backs. Their system does not work well with power backs, and
And for me, you already have 2 pretty decent running backs. Now, CMC, yeah, you don't, the questions of the health. You have Jordan Mason, though, sitting there,
Yeah.
so.
I think the other team to look at too that I don't think did very well was Jacksonville.
No, other than going out and
You
getting.
got Travis Hunter, yeah, great, but the dude can't play 100 snaps on both sides of the ball every single game.
Especially early in the year in Florida when it gets humid. Like, that's going to fucking kill him.
Yeah.
And not only that, but do you see he's wearing 2 different numbers? So he's going to have to change out of pads. Yeah. He's wearing 12. I think it's 12 when he's a receiver and 21 when he's a defensive back.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I
Well, yeah,
found that out today.
the NFL's a lot more strict on which positions can wear which number.
Yeah, it's not like it's not like college where multiple guys can, I guess, wear the same number and stuff. So he has to change out of his jersey every time he switches a position.
Well, that's going to make jersey sales interesting.
Yeah, what's Travis Hunter jersey gonna get?
Yeah,
I guess you just have because I don't know if you've all ever put a jersey on pads before.
it's not
It's
easy.
not easy. It's
No,
not.
that's why they got guys that do it for him now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not a fun time. I hated it when I played for the couple years that I did. I fucking despised it.
it was
I hated
miserable.
it for the one play I had in my
It's
football
like,
career.
and then taking it off was even worse. It was just like Jesus. So I guess he's gonna have two different sets of pads.
Yeah, you learn how to
Al-
bend your shoulders in ways you didn't think they could.
Also,
Yeah,
their pads are a lot better than the pads we ever played with.
yeah, that is
Yeah,
also true.
Them bitches slide right on. Hell, now it's mainly quarterback pads for everybody
Yeah, especially for receivers because
and
you're
DBs.
not
It's
taking the
all
hard hits you
quarterback
used to
pads.
anymore. Yeah,
Most of them don't even wear knee pads anymore.
yeah.
Like, I
yeah.
mean, it's
So
literally just little padding.
and we'll see. Yeah, the cornerback out of Tulane again, round 3. Okay. Uh, you got an offensive guard out of West Virginia. You got some dude out of Virginia Tech who I can't pronounce his name. I apologize to that guy. 2 linebackers back to back.
Bayshaw Tootin.
What a
Thank you,
move.
Jason. I will never say that name. Yeah, it's just a lot of interesting moves for them. I thought them trading with you guys was bold.
I
I
mean,
think
It's a
you
new
got a
one,
lot
GM.
more out of that
we
than
didn't
they
want to
did.
have to deal with the sideshow, and they needed the corner wide receiver mix more than we did. I mean, if we took him, we probably would have just made him a wide receiver, which was his worst position. And we all saw what he said about only playing one way.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel bad for you guys. Jason, to be honest with you, I feel bad for you the most because you got a guy who apparently was, uh, according to the executives, I don't know if y'all saw that on Twitter, but one of the most arrogant people he's ever met and one of the worst interviews he's ever had with a player. Go ahead and read that if you haven't already. Um, yeah, that was interesting, you know. And then just like, who's going to start for you guys?
I think it's going to be Pickett or Flacco.
And then he didn't even want to play for you guys. He went out on record and said, "I do not want to play for Cleveland."
Most people do. We don't care. We still draft them. And then they suck. And we wonder why they suck. Because they didn't want to be there. So,
Love the Dylan Gabriel move. You had me with Dylan Gabriel, and then you lost me when you drafted Shador after that. But
yeah, but I throw the move to move back to 5 in there too. I think that's what made them a top 5 team when it came to the draft. Because Mason Graham, when you look at it, you had to find a guy to play alongside Myles Garrett and to open up some space for him. So now you have him, you have Mason Graham, and you have Mike Hall on your defensive line mixed with Myles Garrett.
yeah,
And you end up with their number 1 pick next year, which very well could be a very high pick again. I think that's what helped win them this draft.
but like I said earlier, as we go to a break, we don't know shit about fuck. You don't know why? Because they haven't even fucking played a snap in the NFL yet. None of them have. So we have no idea. We are guessing right now. Guessing and overreacting.
I'm not
This is our
guessing.
best guess. This is some good guesstimations here.
These are some very good guesstimations. You want to know why? Because we actually watched college football last year. Ha! Anyway, we'll be
Yeah,
right back.
watched
When we come
every
back,
game.
Chance and I have NHL. Bobby and I have NCAA baseball. And then the lads have MLB. And then we're fucking out of here.
We've
Chance.
got a redraft.
And the
Break
redraft,
time.
yeah.
Now he's going to have a hard time making five.
Can you call me? I guess.
For the stay up, he's got it. There's your leader.
That one is on the green. Much to the delight of the thousands around it.
Oh boy.
All right. So, Jason, we're doing another redraft. Take us through this redraft, sir.
So the website we used for our mock draft allows you to go back a few years. So we're going to redraft the 2018 draft. We're going to do the first 3 rounds, and we're all going to have the same teams that we had for our mock draft. So, Chance, you are up first with the Browns, buddy. 2018.
Who's in this draft class?
Sam Darnold,
Josh
Saquon
Allen was in
Barkley,
this.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Field. Okay. Giants.
Frost would have loved that.
Who had the Giants? Bobby.
Why does it not let me pick?
Why is it not starting for me here?
You got to hit start at the top.
Oh.
I don't even see. I don't
It's
even
at the
see
top
start.
of the thing.
Ah, I gotcha. I found it.
All right, Josh Allen.
All right. Bobby, Giants.
Well, gonna stick with what the Giants did and take Saquon again.
Okay. Jets. Who had the Jets? Chance.
Sam Darnold.
All right. Chance, the Browns.
Who else is in this draft?
Bradley Chubb, Quentin Nelson, Derwin James, Roquan Smith,
Quentin
Denzel
Nelson.
Ward. Quentin Nelson.
Thank you.
Broncos would be
It
me.
was you, I believe.
Yep, they're going to take Baker. Colts, Chance.
Derwin James.
Okay. Bills, Chance.
I got no idea.
Bradley Chubb, Josh Rosen, Roquan Smith.
Josh Rosen.
Bears would be me, I believe. Yep. They're going to take Denzel Ward. 49ers. Billy.
Hey, look at that. Who was their quarterback then?
Jimmy G.
Was it Jimmy G? All right, give me Lamar. Hindsight being what it is, we know who Lamar is as a quarterback. I think Arizona's me again, right?
Yep.
Now I have Arizona.
No.
Billy's
Billy
Arizona,
has-
my bad.
Who was their quarterback in 18?
Not Kyler Murray.
No, I
Is it
know.
Carson Palmer?
Was it still Palmer? Jeez. Well, I'm not taking Mason fucking Rudolph.
I wouldn't either.
I really don't know. This is a problem. Minka Fitzpatrick.
Dolphins, Billy.
Take.
Was Fitzmagic their quarterback this time?
Yeah.
DJ Moore. Nice.
Buccaneers, Bobby.
Cortland Sutton.
Commanders was me. They're going to take Bradley Chubb.
So
Saints was
Washington.
me.
Who took?
Yeah.
Who was it? Tampa. I'm sorry.
Huh?
Who was Tampa again?
I
I'm
took
sorry.
Cortland Sutton.
Cortland Sutton. Thank you. And then you just took Bradley Chubb. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that. Got lost in the Capitals game.
You're the Saints, right, Jason?
Yeah, they're going to take Mark Andrews because they need a tight end. Raiders was
Me, I
Bobby.
think. Oh, Bobby? Oh, okay.
Roquan Smith.
Okay. Chance, back to you, the Bills.
I got no idea, buddy.
Well, look at the screen, buddy.
I'm on my phone.
You can't see that I shared a screen?
Calvin Ridley's still out there, buddy, if you want him.
Calvin Ridley.
Okay, Chargers were Chance.
Fucking sakes. Tremaine Edmonds.
Okay. Packers were Bobby, I believe. Yeah, Bobby.
Come on, make a better pass.
Dallas Goddard.
Okay. Cowboys were Billy.
That's me. See, they need a wide receiver. Christian Kirk.
Lions, Bobby.
Vita Vea.
Okay. Bengals was Bobby.
Jair Alexander.
Okay. Titans. Chance.
Harold Landry.
Okay. Patriots was
Me.
Billy.
Me, Mike. Is that McClinchy? Is that how you say his last name?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
The attack.
Panthers. Chance.
Josh Jackson.
Okay. Ravens, Bobby.
Mm-mm. Nick Chubb.
Okay. Falcons was Bobby.
Frank Ragnow.
Frank Ragnow.
Yep. Big Frank.
Was he
Inside O lineman.
interior?
Is it guard?
Ragnow. Okay, Seahawks, which is me. They're going to go because we know what we know now.
Fuck yeah.
They're going to go Charvarius Ward,
What was he?
corner.
Corner.
Steelers, which is me.
How
Very
far down
smart. Where the hell is he?
Various Ward?
Is he all the way down there?
Pretty far, yeah. He
All
was
right.
not rated very high coming out, but he turned into a pretty
Middle
good player.
Tennessee State.
Yep. The Steelers are going to take Leighton Vander Esch.
Why am I asking Ward?
Jaguars is me. We need a wide receiver. Too bad there weren't very many good ones in this draft.
Said corner,
Is
right?
this the year they took?
I'm
Yeah.
not seeing this dude.
He's like, I think he's in the late 200s.
They're going to take Marquez Valdez Scantling.
Various Ward.
Vikings.
There he is. Jeez. Said Pittsburgh took who again? I'm sorry, I need to catch up here.
Pittsburgh took Leighton
Vander
Vander
Esch.
Esch.
He is
How
Linebacker.
far down's MVS? Holy hell.
Yeah, he's all the way down at the bottom. But we're making these picks based on what we know now.
Yes, that
Yeah.
is what
No,
people need to understand is they did not again, this is like no one knew anything.
The purpose of a redraft is basically what they panned out to be.
Like, hey, this is what you know. Josh Allen, surefire, unanimous, number one overall
Number one pick.
Yeah, maybe Saquon. Him and Saquon probably interchangeable.
But the Browns needed a QB more than it needed a running back. No offense.
Yeah, Chance, Vikings.
Alan Lazard.
Wide receiver, Lazard.
Okay. Patriots back to Billy.
Me! What the hell do we need? What does New England need? We need a lot. We need a quarterback. Jeez.
I still had the GOAT.
I know.
There was really no quarterbacks after. This draft was very low on quarterbacks.
Yeah, no. So I'm not gonna waste a pick. Let's get a D lineman. Give me Payne out of Alabama.
Okay.
Fucking, I remember
Ravens.
him being a
Bobby.
fucking menace to society. I
Jesse
hope they have these
Bates.
for all sports.
Jesse was a safety, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Out of Wake.
The
Okay.
third. The
Browns.
third.
Chance.
Damn, y'all had a lot of draft picks, Jason. Jesus.
Yeah.
Early draft picks, too.
Isaiah Oliver.
Who the fuck is that?
All right. Giants
Corner.
was Bobby.
Dalton Schultz.
Okay. Chance. Browns.
Rashawn Evans.
Good pick. Colts. Chance.
You.
Think about your
Taven
10
Bryan,
pieces
defensive
here.
lineman. Yeah,
Who?
Taven Bryan.
All right.
Taven Bryan.
Oh, you got another
Colts.
one, buddy.
Chance.
Jesus.
Fuck, dude. Where are the Dean linemen at?
Marcus Davenport's still up there. He's a D lineman.
Yep, take him.
All right. Buccaneers. Bobby.
Oh.
Thank God we got away from Chance.
Yeah, no shit.
Who'd you pick? Or is he still looking?
Bobby's still looking, I think.
Okay. I don't mean to rush you there. Sorry.
Sam Hubbard.
Who?
Sam Hubbard.
Okay, he was edge. Okay. Bears. Bobby.
Sam Hubbard. Where
No.
the hell is he?
I was the Bears.
See, I didn't. Philly had the Bears. No, you're
I'm
the Bears.
Hold on. Where? I'm looking for Sam Hubbard here. Give me a second.
Edge rusher.
Edge. Okay. Sorry.
Billy Price, interior O-line for the Bears.
Billy Price.
Broncos. Baker needs somebody to throw to.
Wide receiver.
DJ Shark. Titans. Chance.
Isaiah Wynn.
Okay. Was he the first name you saw when you looked up?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Dolphins.
Hayden Hurst.
Okay. Lions.
Get another one. Ice this
Be me.
fucking thing.
Yep, that's you, Levy.
Colton Miller. Offensive tackle.
San Fran.
Lorenzo Carter, edge. Out of you know where. Yeet.
Bobby, Green Bay.
No, he didn't. Let's go. Fuck yeah.
Trying to think here. Darius Leonard.
What position?
He was a linebacker.
Okay. Chiefs.
Yeah, get fucked, Montreal.
Billy, I think you're the Chiefs.
I am.
Yeah.
Um,
Keep in mind they would have needed a hell of a lot.
yeah,
in
they
this
do.
draft.
Well, the number one thing is a corner. Give me Carlton Davis out of Auburn.
Cardinals?
He's a cornerback, by the way. I'm sorry.
Yep, I got him.
I got a safety last time. Let's go wide receiver. Give me St. Brown, Notre Dame.
The other St. Brown.
Chargers? Chance?
Fuck yeah. That's the 31 lead, baby. Fuck you, Montreal.
Connor Williams.
Eagles. The only pick for the Eagles. Which is me. At least in the first 3 rounds. I'm going to go running back. Now I'm going to take... Not Darius Geis. Naheem Hines. Cowboys. Billy.
I'm also going to go running back. Sony Michelle.
Okay. Bears, which would be me. Yep. D-line Mohurst. Colts, Chance. You just want the top-rated defensive guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Mike Hughes, cornerback, UCF.
Corner blitz.
Who'd you take,
Buccaneers,
Cross?
Bobby. For
Did you
who?
take the Bears? You said Hurst?
Yeah, Mohurst. Maurice Hurst.
Then Chance
It's-
took who?
Mike Hughes, corner.
All right. Buccaneers. I went receiver, edge. Give me Mike Gesicki.
Okay. Sicky. Bengals.
Will Hernandez.
Okay.
Interior O lineman.
Panthers would have been Bill
No.
Chance.
James Daniels.
Okay. Patriots.
I think that's
Billy.
me. Let's go. Let's see. Linebacker too. I think there's some decent linebackers here. Linebacker Malik Jefferson.
Okay. Raiders.
Raiders need to protect people.
Bobby.
I had the Raiders.
Yep.
Billy, who'd you take?
Oh, I took a Malik Jefferson linebacker. It's the first one, I think.
Yeah, he was.
So we got one more game tonight, don't we, Chance?
Yeah.
Yep, there it is. Starting soon. I'll play.
I'm gonna go James Washington.
What position is he?
Running
Receiver.
back, right? Oh,
Receiver.
receiver. That's right. Okay.
James Washington, Oklahoma. Yep.
Falcons. Bobby.
Justin Reed.
Safety.
Yep, from Stanford.
Okay. Commanders, which was me. They're going to go linebacker. Fred Warner. Steelers. They're going to stick to defense. They're going to take defensive lineman Josh Sweat. Jaguars going to take tight end Tyler Conklin. Vikings, Chance.
Ronnie Harrison.
Buccaneers, Bobby.
Orlando Brown Jr., offensive tackle.
Colts, Chance. Highest rated defensive player?
Yep. Read my mind.
Dante Jackson, corner.
Dude,
Raiders,
double corner blitz.
Bobby.
Ronald Jones Jr.,
Okay. What position?
running back.
Giants, Bobby.
I'm going to go Brian O'Neill, offensive tackle.
So, offensive tackle. Okay. Browns, Bobby.
That's a chance.
Chance, Browns.
Mason Rudolph.
Texans.
Sorry, the first name I saw.
Billy, Texans.
Rashad Penny, running back, San Diego State. He's like the second name overall.
Yep. Giants again, which was Bobby.
Hmm. Wyatt Teller,
Was
interior O lineman.
49ers.
That would be me, I think.
Yes.
I'm gonna go safety. Terrell Edmonds, Virginia Tech.
Broncos, which was me. They're going to take J.C. Jackson. Jets. Chance.
Harrison Phillips.
Okay. Dolphins.
That'd be me. Says they need a quarterback. There ain't much there. I'm gonna go interior O line and get Braden Smith at Auburn.
Is my pick.
Wait, one or two more picks
Hold
total.
on, I'm hitting a home run with Lindor real quick. I'll go with you. Oh, let's see. Tight end. Who's out here? Will Dissly's had a pretty good career. We'll go Jordan Akins. He's had a pretty good career.
He was a tight end.
Yeah. Chiefs.
Hold on.
He definitely use that look.
Kansas City.
Just told me like you. I know you're a vampire.
Look, a vampire.
There's a reason we can't eat garlic bread in this house.
Fucking love garlic bread.
Where's the rest?
Mainly because it makes my farts really stinky. I am a fart. I am just a fart cloud.
That's disgusting.
I know I'm taking forever here. I'm sorry, boys.
Fucking
Yeah, you're
figure it out.
Sometimes they fuck.
Fine.
Come give me a
Fuck you
walker to
guys.
the nursing
Jeez.
home.
Today, Junior?
Fine. Fuck you guys. Jeez. Fine. Mason Cole out of the school we don't talk about.
Just take the top person at the board. Fuck's sake.
Mason Cole?
Interior O
Fights
line.
for the Steelers. She's god awful.
Okay. Steelers. Obo Okoronkwo.
Who?
Fucking who?
Say that 5 times fast.
Obu Okoronkwo. Edge rusher.
Edge from Oklahoma.
Yeah. Bobby, you got 2 straight picks with the bungholes.
Okay. Give me DJ Reed.
What was he again?
Corner.
Okay.
And Darius Geis.
Darius Geis.
Yep.
Okay. Seahawks. Was me, I think. Yep. We're gonna go Chukwuma Okorafor.
Chooks.
Texans.
He's an O lineman, right?
Billy. Yeah, offensive tackle.
I'm gonna stay offensive tackle. Tyrell Crosby. Yeah.
Okay. Cowboys.
I'm gonna go D lineman Rasheem Green, USC.
Okay.
Hey, it's Jackie Redmond.
Lions.
That is me. I will go.
Hey.
Offensive tackle Jamarco Jones.
Okay.
The Ohio State University.
For the Ravens, give me edge rusher Arden Key.
Chargers. Chance.
Anthony Miller.
Okay. Panthers. Chance.
Austin Colbert.
Corbett.
Sure.
Okay. Ravens.
Derek Naughty and Donnie, however you say it.
Naughty.
Yeah,
I don't know
him.
if that's how you spell it. There's two ends there, so I'm saying the ends. I don't care.
What
Yeah,
position?
that's kind of
D
just
lineman.
one of the top. Yeah, one of the top availables.
Oh, Derek Nottie.
Yep.
Raiders.
It's like Aaron, just Naughty.
Dorrance Armstrong Jr.
Okay. Packers.
Uchenna Nwasu.
Okay. Rams. The only pick the Rams have in the first 3 rounds.
I think it's
Billy.
me. And running back, we'll take the top running back. Royce Freeman.
Okay. Falcons. Bobby.
Kerryon Johnson.
Okay. Saints was me. We're gonna take BJ Hill. Steelers. MJ Stewart. Jaguars.
MJ Stewart, right? Hold on. What the fuck is he?
Corner.
There he is. Carolina. Dang.
Jaguars. Jerome Baker, linebacker. The Ohio State University. Former Buckeye.
30 goals in 3 games, Chance. Jesus.
For the Bucks, give me Will Clapp, interior O lineman,
Cheeks.
LSU.
49ers.
Oh my gosh. Give me Nathan Shepard.
What position?
He is the top pick. He's literally right there. Right in front of you.
D-line.
Yeah.
Bills. Chance.
Dante Pettis.
Okay. Okay. Cardinals. Billy.
Why not? Kyle Laletta.
Okay.
Because he's had a
Texans.
fantastic career. I didn't even put my thumbs up and it gave me thumbs up. See? My phone agrees.
Texans.
RJ McIntosh.
Okay.
Just giving me
Broncos.
suggestions. I like that.
They need a running back. Philip Lindsay. Worked out
Who?
pretty well the first time they had him.
Running back?
Chiefs. Last pick. Yep.
Oh, last pick? Okay. Give me. What do I need? Deshaun Elliott. Fuck it. Safety.
Hey. All done. Now we're not going to go through that one because these grades are bad because we're drafting based on what we know now.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So, now that we just burned 36 minutes of this final half of the show, Chance,
Sometimes that's what you got to do.
yeah, it's our turn, buddy. You ready for
It
some hockey?
is.
You ready for some hockey, bud?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's start with what we just watched. The Capitals are now up 3-1, headed back to DC. I think they play Wednesday. What'd you think of tonight? What have you thought about this series?
I mean, I knew Montreal was going to get one at home. I mean, it was just destined. Obviously, Montembeau not playing tonight was a big factor. I thought Dovis played well, but the real reason Montreal is still in the series is because of Montembeau. I thought Montreal's played well through 4 games, obviously. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
get game 1 to overtime. Game 2 was close. Game 3, you win at home. And then this one, I mean, 2 empty netters. The score doesn't really tell the difference, but I think this series is over now. I think it ends next game. I think Washington's definitely turned up the physicality now. It's almost striking a little fear into them. Montreal really only has that one guy you need to be afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
That's hunting down your back and Jack Eye.
Yeah.
Anderson can do it as well. Gallagher's kind of a pest, but nothing to the fact of what you got Tom Wilson on the other side of the ice.
Yeah.
Then Ovi laying the big hit.
Mm-hmm. It was a
Seen
penalty, but
online.
yeah, he can. Yeah.
I've seen online that it was a clean hit, but
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to call Anderson earlier in that sequence for a roughing minor that was soft on Wilson, you got to call the Ovi penalty.
That was a little harder than that.
Yeah, and it was interesting to see Thompson back as soon as he was. Obviously, from the
looked
replay in Game 3, it looked a
Yeah, that
lot
looks
worse than what
ugly.
it actually
it looked
was.
gnarly, like cross check to the dome, and then you get folded. You know that.
Yeah, I mean, it looked similar to what happened today in New Jersey with Anderson going down.
Yep.
Same way with the leg kind of getting rolled up on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's good for Washington to get him back. Obviously, not being long term. If it was long term, I think the series would have been far from over.
Yeah. I think we still would have had the edge with Lindgren, but like if we're talking deeper, like next round deeper, it would have been because
Well, I don't
Carolina won
know.
that series.
I don't think I'd give you. I don't think I'd give you the edge if Thompson was out and Lindgren was in, especially the way he played down the stretch and
Yeah.
the way he played last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
We would have had to outscore our issues for sure.
yeah,
That I have no doubt. But yeah, seeing him skate this morning was phenomenal, and then just hearing them announce that hey, he's the Game 4 starter was like, all right, because yeah, Ovi scoring and the depth of points is great, but if I'm being honest, arguably the biggest reason why we are where we are, which is the number 1 seed in the East, is because of him, because of Thompson's play. Now I know he got injured and missed what 9 games ish, but you know we pretty much had the East on lock at that point. You know, so to have him do what he did all season and have him in the play, I think that's the only reason we're here, right? You look at Chance. You talk about game 2. Look at game 2 and how he did in that third period or in that second period. Like holy Christ, they had so many chances, you know. And I don't think with Lindgren in there that game could have gotten out of hand, you know. Yeah, I think this is done in 5. We definitely turned it up tonight. I think Montreal's hung with us pretty well though. I'll give them their credit. These young kids are not afraid to lay out some hits and take some hits too. So, they're not afraid to get chippy with us. So, we'll see. We're back at home, which is nice. Got a couple days to recuperate and get back after it, which can help Thompson continue to get healthy because I don't think he was 100%, but it did. I think 60+% these guys are going out there. So I mean, Chance,
no one's healthy at this time.
no one is. No one's healthy. If you can,
And if you are, it's an anomaly.
yeah. Or you were just coming off of the injured list.
Yeah.
But
even in 2-3 games into a series, you're feeling it.
Oh yeah. 5-1 win today. Your Blues have tied the series with Winnipeg. Today, 3 goals in the second period, 5 total on 13 total shots. Buddy. You want to talk about anomaly? 5 goals on 13. I'm guessing the 2 were empty.
No, it was straight 5-1.
Like, 5 on Hellebuck and 13 shots. Whoa. I know Blues fans are loving life right now. What's it like over there in the St. Louis country?
I mean, confidence is high. I mean, obviously, Game 3 finished 7-2, an absolute shit kicking.
Buchnevich with a hattie?
Yeah, he had a hat trick. Had 2 goals in the first 3 minutes of the game.
Jeez.
But I mean, you look at today, four goals coming from the point. All 4 really. I mean, Falk's goal was a deflection off Hellebuck's own defenseman. I mean, that's going to happen. You get traffic in front of the net. Tyler Tucker's goal, he's Hellebuck screened by his own defenseman. That can't happen. Neighbor's goal, deflection in front. I mean, you look at some of the goals that Hellebuck has given up on the road. It's mainly caused by his own team not boxing out. I mean, give credit to St. Louis. What they're doing is they're getting traffic in front of the net. The best way to beat a good goaltender, take his eyes away. You can't see you can't stop what you can't see.
Exactly.
So they're doing these last 2 games at home have really looked like the St. Louis team that went on that 12-game win streak, the identity that they have.
Yeah.
Just wearing teams down physically. I mean, I think there's over 300 hits in the 4 games already combined. I think the big thing for Winnipeg is the adversity that they faced after Game 3. I mean, they had a hot start today early in the first period. I think they were feeling it pretty good coming out early and really took the crowd out of it. But then you give up that late goal in the end of the first. And if you're St. Louis at that point, I know you're at home, and it felt like you're kind of on the road getting dominated like they were. But you swing all the momentum that way, and then you score 4 unanswered between the second and third period. And you chase Hellebuck for the second game in a row. I don't think Winnipeg's going to go to their backup. I think you'd be stupid not to. If you did, you can't bring Hellebuck back.
No.
So, but it's been fun. It's been a good series. It definitely has gotten chippy the last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly on the Jets because they've been out of it both games, and all they seem to do is want to try to start fights. I don't think the league's going to look at it, especially at the end of the day. Adam Lowry taking his gloves off and throwing punches at people that don't have their gloves off. They should look at it, but they probably won't, considering Hagel and Kachuk both aren't getting suspended for their hits that they put on.
Yep.
So, I mean, it comes down to Wednesday. The winner of Wednesday is probably going to win the series. St. Louis is going to have to find a way to get a win on the road.
You got to win one on the road.
Come back home.
If you want to move
on.
No
one's won on the road. No one's won on the road in this series.
Yeah.
I mean, like every series, you're not in trouble till you lose at home. So both these teams aren't in trouble yet, but it definitely feels like the series has swung in favor of St. Louis.
The only issue for St. Louis is you can't win them all at home because you still can't take a series that way.
No.
You only get one more.
But
you have to find a way in one of these 2 to.
Benner's feeling it. His confidence is through the roof right now. I mean, Hellebuck's confidence has to be like, what do I do? I mean, you look at his last 5.
It feels
His
like he has
last
no
five
help out
road
there.
start, his last 5 road starts, including last year's playoffs, he's given up 29 goals. That can't happen, especially being a Vezina Trophy winner. I mean, he only gave up 1 in Game 2, and then Game 1 he gave up 3, and we really let that one get out of hand.
Yep.
We kind of gave that game away. I mean, this series could easily be 3-1, and then the questions are really being asked of Hellebuck. But, I mean, the questions are still being asked right now, but I don't think as bad as they would be if they were down in the series 3-1.
Yeah, for sure. Should be interesting. Game 5, you said, is Wednesday?
Yeah, it's Wednesday night.
So y'all get a couple days to relax. Ottawa stays alive. Overtime win yesterday. What was that today? That was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
3 straight overtime games in this series. Toronto, I think it was 1-18 in clinchers, which is I think that's the stat, which is pretty crazy to think about. The struggle for Toronto and their round 1 demons to get over the hump. What are your thoughts on this series? 3 straight. Max, is his last name Domi? Domi overtime. Then another 3-2 OT win. Simon Benoit, and then Jake Sanderson for Ottawa in last night's game in that overtime.
I think this series is over. I mean, Toronto has to close this out at home. I thought Toronto's played better than Ottawa pretty much the entire series except for Game 1. Stolarz has been excellent for him. Toronto's getting scoring from their core 4 guys and Nylander, Matthews, Marner, and Tavares. They're playing well. The back end of Toronto is a lot better built than it has been in the past few years. Adding Carlo at the deadline was a big addition. Morgan Riley adding a little scoring depth to him. Adding Scott Lawton too at the deadline, a third centerman, play down the middle, has been everything they could have hoped for. Adding at the trade deadline. Ekman Larson kind of turning into what he was in Florida for them on the back end, adding a little more offensive help.
Yeah.
And Ullmark just hasn't played well. I mean, yeah, you could say 3 games went to overtime, but he's looked shaky at times. He's given up a lot of good rebounds for Toronto to capitalize on.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting beat clean sometimes. That shouldn't happen. It's just like his struggles in Boston when he was in the playoffs. So, I mean, Ottawa can still find a way into it. I mean, you can always steal one on the road. You know the crowd in Toronto is going to be amped up and nervous at the same time.
Yeah.
So maybe
A lot of
Ottawa
nervous
can
energy.
kind of, yeah, you can probably feed off that nervous energy in the first 10 minutes, maybe get a goal, play a big hit, take the crowd out of it, really. But I still think the series is over.
Yeah. Avalanche and Stars tied 2 apiece.
Landeskog's scoring last night was awesome, though.
That was phenomenal. Good for him. Dallas gets blanked 4-0. Game 5 back in Colorado tomorrow night.
I think the thing you have to look for is McKinnon going to just put the team on his back here and just go? Like he's capable of?
I mean, 2 wins for Dallas have been in overtime so far. So, and then the others, it was 5-1. Their losses have been, in their losses, they've scored a combined 1 goal. You know, chance. Colorado's kind of seemingly look like they figured it out.
Yeah, I mean, they played well Game 1 and Game 2. I mean, they played well in all 4 games, really. I'd say Game 2 is one they probably like back.
They kind of had that one.
Both losses you'd always want back,
Mm-hmm.
but Game 2 particularly.
I apologize. It's going back to Dallas. My bad. I forgot it's flipped. My bad. My bad. Going back to Dallas, not Colorado. My apologies. Continue,
Yeah.
Chance.
Obviously, the Landeskog coming back Game 3. Thought Colorado was going to have a little more juice. Sagan definitely ruined that welcome home party.
Yeah, he did.
I think the shelling of Game 4 really showed what Colorado can do with Dallas not having Heiskanen. They really took advantage of them. Their neutral zone was phenomenal. The speed that they were getting.
Mm-hmm.
And Dallas kind of took that away in Games 2 and 3. Did a really good job. But Game 4, they were just on another level.
Yeah.
Dallas was lucky to be up 2-1 in the series, I thought. Ottinger's played really well. But he gets pulled Game 4. It's 3-0 at the time. He really stood on his head, and I think he made 21 saves in one period. So you really can't fault it. I think mainly that was for rest, getting pulled, being down 3-0, but I didn't like it. Just because if you get a goal early in the third, it's 3-1 with maybe 18, 17 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
That's still a lot of hockey.
Yeah, that's a game at that point. Now, if it was 4-0, you might make the switch, but I felt like they should have kept him in, but maybe it's just a rest factor thing. Like, he's getting pummeled with shots. Dallas isn't doing anything to help him out in front. So, it'll be interesting to see in Game 5. I don't think Ottinger's confidence is wavering one bit. He's definitely kept him in this series. I guess the real shining light is Blackwood.
Oh my gosh.
Getting the first shot out of the playoffs. Really coming into the playoffs as an unknown goaltender in the sense that he's never done it in the playoffs before.
Yeah, if you're Colorado, knowing you have the goalie performing the way he is right now, after what you had to deal with last year, they're probably. I think this team this fan base and this team and organization are just so confident in what they're able to do going forward. I think they're just, especially after a 4-0 win against that goalie and that team. Now that team does have, I think, a couple injuries still, right? Like they're still dealing with some injuries. But yeah, shout out to Landeskog. Almost 3 years since his last goal, puts one in. That was awesome. Defending champs, currently leading 2-1 in a heated series against Tampa Bay Chance. This is Chippy. The Battle of Florida is an exciting one. The returning Matthew Tkachuk, 3 points in return, and that 6-2 dominant win. Tampa gets blanked in Game 2, and then Vasilevsky absolutely shined. 33 saves the other night, with Game 4 being tomorrow night. What's your thoughts on this series? Obviously, the Matthew
looks slow.
Not something you thought you'd be saying, huh?
Kucherov's been a non-factor. We've seen it before with Kucherov. He's a regular season empty net goal merchant. Gets a lot of his points on the empty netters. And then sometimes in playoffs, he just turns it off. He just doesn't care at that. So he's got to get going. Yeah, it's Chippy. I expected nothing less. It's just weird to see because Florida had $49 million in the press box to end the season. And they all just magically come back. And then you have Evander Kane for the Oilers misses games 1 and 2 because the league's cracking down on LTIR. But they don't do it for Florida. But they do it against Edmonton. So I have a problem with that. I mean, I get it. Some of these guys are actually injured, but at some point, I think the NHL's got to get more concise
Consistent.
information on injuries in general. Because I mean, you look at injury reports: lower body, upper body.
Yeah.
I
Like
mean, I get it. It's
Montembeau
contact.
has a
It's a
lower body
contact
injury.
sport. I get it. It's contact sport. You don't want to give out information and teams take a run at it. But media is so good that people know.
Mm-hmm.
People talk and people will find out. But
Like the NFL's a contact sport, but we know everything.
yeah,
You know.
I mean, the NHL is still old school. They're still set in their ways in some things.
Yeah.
But
So is this Florida series? You think?
yeah, I mean, their top players are well rested. I mean, I said at the beginning of the series, I thought Florida would lose in this series just because of the back-to-back years of going to the Cup final. And maybe some of that tiredness is going to start to catch up to them.
Yeah. A little
But it's the
hungover still.
playoffs. I mean,
Yeah.
the adrenaline picks up as soon as the playoffs start.
Yeah. I think we're really gonna see like how tired this team is in the later rounds, especially if this series continues. You know.
Yeah, and the physicality is taking on both teams. I mean, Barkov gets injured. I don't think he came back for game 4 or game 3 with the hit that he suffered against Hagel.
Yeah.
Gensel seems to be okay after the hit he took against Kachuk.
That was a fucking hit too. Jeez.
I just think this Florida team's built to be nasty and really just take a team's life out of them by the time you get to 7.
Yeah.
This is Florida's to lose. I mean, Bob's playing really well.
He is.
He's returned to his playoff form that he was for back-to-back years. So,
And it's funny is like we didn't really talk about him in the regular season, right? Like the conversation wasn't really around him, but come playoff time,
no, not really. I mean, it was mainly the question with Florida is who's hurt and who's going to be ready
yeah.
round 1. I mean, $49 million in the press box. It's not a good sign. They
Not at all.
they all got healthy for game 1. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Vegas and Minnesota series tied at 2. What a series this has been.
Yeah, it's definitely a surprise series.
Yeah.
I thought Vegas's depth was going to kind of just roll, but they got hit in the mouth. I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to forget. Like, I mean, before Kaprizov got hurt, he was pretty much the MVP of the league the way he was playing.
Yeah.
And he's really turned it to another level. Him and Boldy, I mean, they're on another level together. I mean, this has become one of the best dynamic duos in the league we have.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was game 3, that sauce pass that Kaprizov had pretty much from the hash marks of their own zone. Flips it up in the air, lands perfectly on Boldy's stick at the blue line, and Boldy doesn't miss a beat and puts it 5-hole.
The window down.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Got the heat on. It's chilly outside. But yeah, no, Kaprizov with 2 power play goals, like that looked like vintage Minnesota in game 3. Like how they just played pretty much, until when they were really hot. How about the Wild finally losing a game though? After leading in the third period, they were 29-0-0 all season when leading after a third period, completely unbeaten.
See,
and finally
I
took
take
an
those
L.
I take those records out the door when the playoffs hit.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, those records are nice for the regular season because you get confidence. I mean, yeah, it's a confidence builder going into the playoffs, but as soon as the playoffs hit, I mean, it's do or die for these teams.
And you're not chasing points anymore. You're chasing a W.
Yeah, you're chasing wins.
Yeah. So, Knights in 7? Or can Minnesota really?
Man, I think Minnesota can win this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this does go 7. But I have a really good feeling with Minnesota right now.
They're playing well. Even 5-on-5, they're really playing well.
Yeah, I mean they have to play well 5-on-5. Vegas was the least penalized team in the league this year,
Yep.
so you have to play well 5-on-5. That's how. I mean, yeah, the special teams you have to have clicking in the playoffs, but you gotta get 5-on-5 scoring all the time in the playoffs.
Yeah,
You're
especially
gonna have
against a
you
team
gotta
that
have depth
doesn't
guys
stay.
step up.
Yeah, especially against a team that doesn't stay in the penalty box. You know. Canes go up 3-1 with a win today. 5-2. Carolina in 5. This seems like it's done in 5.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Anderson's status is for Game 5.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he's anything like Logan Thompson in the hit that he suffered, he probably could be back.
Yeah.
But I mean, it sucks to see because Jersey's just riddled with injuries. Markstrom can only do so much.
Yep.
The depth isn't there for New Jersey even before all the injuries happened.
Yeah.
Come playoffs. But now you're just missing too many guys. It's a varsity playing a JV team. It sucks to see in the playoffs, but I mean, to win the cup, you got to stay healthy.
And then final one, it's going on right now. LA up 1-0, and they look like they are absolutely dominating Edmonton right now. 13 shots, that's 14. Up 1-0. An absolute offensive juggernaut of a shootout last game. What was it? 8-6 the final.
I think it was 7-5, something like that.
Yeah. 30 goals already in the first 3 games of this series. Whew. And one more tonight. What are your thoughts on this series? I mean, geez.
I mean, Edmonton looks lost. Winning games 1 and 2 on the road, got absolutely slapped around. Skinner wasn't doing them any favors like he has before. Just gaping holes everywhere.
Yeah.
Looks like Bonnie Blue out there.
This.
And I mean, Edmonton is a different team from last year, and so is LA. I mean, every team's different every year.
Yeah.
But LA got better, and Edmonton got worse over the year. This is LA's series to lose. I mean, it's tough to say because you still have McDavid and Draisaitl on the other side that can turn it on at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
But the speed for Edmonton's not there. They're chasing all the time. It seems like LA's getting odd man rushes left and right.
And they are putting whatever shot they want on the net whenever they want to do it. They're getting it in deep whenever they want it. They're making the passes at will. Yeah, I'm watching right now. Edmonton doesn't really look like they can set up much of a defensive formation, like you said, chasing. And then when they go to make a quick rush, LA's right there to snuff it out.
Yeah, LA's done a really good job neutralizing David and Draisaitl off the rush.
I mean, two teams playing 2 entirely different brands of hockey right now. And you can tell who's playing the better brand of hockey. Even if you were a casual fan, you would look at this and go, yeah, LA is smacking the fuck out of Edmonton right now. It may be 1-0 right now, but it feels like it's 3 or 4-0 right now. The way LA is playing. All right. Bobby, quickly.
Yes, sir.
NCAA. The upsets were in array this week, especially on the weekday. The Tuesday, midweeks, geez, Penn State upset.
LSU got shelled.
LSU got shelled. MTSU beat Vandy. Kentucky run-ruled Louisville. Coastal lost.
I don't know if I'd say that's I don't know if I would say the Kentucky over Louisville is really an upset.
Yeah, unranked versus ranked.
Kentucky's a good team though.
Oh yeah. Portland beat Oregon. Excuse me. Yeah, and then this weekend, NC State sweeps Clemson. Georgia takes the series against Oklahoma. Coastal sweep James Madison. There we go, Bobby. We like that.
Yeah, Wagon's back.
North Carolina took the series against your Pitt Panthers.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Pitt's not very good.
Florida takes the series against Arkansas.
About time.
Virginia almost swept Georgia Tech.
About
Ole
time
Miss,
Florida wins the series.
Yeah, Ole Miss 2 out of 3 against Vanderbilt. Oregon swept Oregon State. LSU, the statement win today to take the series against Tennessee.
Yeah, that was a big series win for them.
Yeah. Louisville.
You know, Friday
2 out of
night,
3.
that game on Friday night, I think I intentionally walk Jared Jones and load the bases and take my chances.
Yeah, I do. Louisville 2 out of 3 against Florida State.
That ball might not have landed yet.
Clemson. So this is funny. We're about to get into our top tens. I do not envy the committee's position right now.
No.
Because Texas took care of business. They did their job.
Yeah, I think Texas stays at 1.
Yeah. Clemson got swept. Oregon State
got
swept. Florida State lost their series. Arkansas lost their series. And then Tennessee lost their series. Vanderbilt lost their series. So that is 7 of your top 10 just lost.
Yeah. I think LSU moves up for sure.
Here is my attempt to make a top 10 list. You ready for this?
Texas is 1.
Stays at 1.
Yeah. There's the best team in the country.
LSU jumps to 2.
Okay. From what, 5?
From 7.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because they're going to be the next team in the top 10 that won in their series.
Bingo. And you won against another top 10 team in the team above you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Georgia, 2 out of 3. I don't know why they fell so far. Vanderbilt's a good team. And they play on it. I get they got swept, but geez. I don't know why Vanderbilt moved up 10 spots. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, that one was a little... That one was kind of
swept one series, but that doesn't jump them up 10 spots. You saw what happened. They went 1-4 on the week. Yeah, okay. North Carolina.
I don't think the committee holds midweek games very high.
They should, especially when you lose to an unranked game like MTSU. No offense to MTSU, but you're MTSU. Let's have some feel. I mean, North Carolina, 2 out of 3. They were 8. I put them at 4. I mean, they won. They won their series, right? Yes, they beat Pitt, but they went on the road and did it. It's not easy to win on the road, you know?
No. Well, Pitt it is. You're playing in front of 20 people.
Exactly. It's not easy playing in front of nobody there, brother. It's quiet. You have no energy. Like, you know? Yeah. Oregon was 13th. I put them at 5. You sweep a top 30 team.
Yeah.
All right, so here's where it gets interesting.
A lot of the rest of the top 10 had losing weekends.
Florida State at 6.
Okay.
You lose 2 or 3 against a ranked opponent. Okay.
Ranked opponent doesn't hurt you. Doesn't hurt you as bad.
No. Arkansas at 7. You went on the road and you lose 2 of 3. Yes, Florida's unranked, but you lost 2 of 3 on the road.
I think that hurts you more since they're an unranked, though.
Yeah. You know what? I'll flip. I'll put Tennessee at 7, and I'll put Arkansas at 8.
I still say I do still think Tennessee's better than Arkansas.
Yeah. So we'll flip that. I'll have Tennessee at 7, then Arkansas at 8. At 9, I have Auburn. They won their series this weekend against a very game Mississippi State, one of the better unranked teams.
Mm-hmm.
And at 10, dropping all the way down from 3, Oregon State, who got swept.
Okay.
Because they were top 3. Clemson I have at 11.
Yeah.
Because you got swept by a team that's 25th in the nation. Ranked opponent, less ranked than Oregon was. If that makes sense.
Okay. I mean, no, I get it.
Yeah, Oregon State lost to a team who could be a top 10 team. Clemson lost to NC State, who's just barely in the top 25.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's where I'm at. It's very hard when all of your top
teams when it was that kind of chaotic of a weekend.
It's like, jeez, I don't know. Do I take a team that was 15th who beat an unranked? Do I just throw them up there? Like, what do I do with this? Football's a lot easier to rank than baseball, but my man, I'm quickly realizing that.
Oh, it is.
All right, this week. Tuesday, Oregon State plays Oregon again. This time in Oregon State. Or at Oregon State, I should say. I think they're like right down the road. Not a whole lot of good midweeks. This week, midweek, other than Oregon State, Oregon is kind of garbage. Not gonna lie. So we're gonna jump right to the weekend series. Arkansas hosts Texas. Good luck, Arkansas.
Ooh. Yeah.
They are 1-4 in their last conference play weekends in terms of series wins, and 1-4.
Ow.
Yeah, in their last 5. That's not good.
No.
Chance, Notre Dame hosts Louisville. Louisville coming off a good week. Here's where it gets interesting. Bobby starting Friday. Florida State hosts Clemson.
Both teams need a bounce back. Yeah, both need a bounce back.
Jason, Ohio State hosts that team up north. Good luck, buddy. Bobby, your Pitt Panthers host Virginia Tech.
Yeah. Does that start Thursday or Friday?
Friday. And then Tennessee hosts Auburn. That should be fun.
Yeah. Tennessee's going to need a bounce back.
Yep. Texas A&M will host LSU.
That could be a good one. Is that a Friday start too?
Yep. All of these are Fridays.
Because I know sometimes the SEC likes to dick around and have some start Thursday, then I'm all confused.
Yeah, they have one starting Thursday this time, which is phenomenal.
Anybody? Is it a good one at least?
Yeah, Arkansas, Texas.
Ooh. I don't know how good that's going to be, but
it's something.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt will host Alabama. I'm teeter-tottering on this series here.
Yeah.
Georgia goes to Missouri.
I'd like to say Vandy because they're at home, and they're pretty tough at home.
But Alabama plays tough on the road.
Yeah.
They like to play spoiler in road games.
They do.
Vanderbilt, Missouri will host Georgia. That's going to be a sweep. Miami will host NC State, a good unranked team against a team who just had a phenomenal weekend. Mississippi State will host Kentucky, 2 very good unranked teams. Oklahoma will host Ole Miss. Arizona will host TCU. Horned Frogs having a good year.
Yeah, silently.
Yep. USC will host UCLA. And then Baylor will host Arizona State. Two good unranked teams there.
Yeah.
All right. So we got through that. Well, I would love to spend another 30 minutes talking about MLB baseball. I have to get up early in the morning. It is getting late. So we're going to call that a show. A lot of it was football night just because the draft happened. So next week, promise, Bobby, baseball heavy.
All right.
Jason, Chance, I know you're not really watching because I need you locked in on hockey. I need you dialed, right? Jason, Bobby, get your baseball in, get your MLB in, because we're going heavy with that conversation next week. Ending the first month, getting close. This week will be the end of the first month of baseball, boys. And holy shit, I turned 26
Wow.
in a week. Jesus God. It just popped
Jesus.
on me today.
Oh
A week
boy.
from a week from Wednesday, I'm 26. And I went, oh my gosh. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, all right, boys. Well, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for sitting through a little draft talk. We have no idea what's going to happen because not a single ounce of football has been played. Hockey's been exciting. NCAA is, huh?
I'm gonna go to the gas station.
Yeah, go hit up your gas station. All right, we are out of here.
Oh my god.
We will see you all in a week. Thank you all for sitting through 5 shows in 10 days. Guys,
I'm
phenomenal
starting a
work.
petition too.
Are you?
Yeah.
Do I want to know what it's for?
Yeah, after next year, the draft is in Pittsburgh, but after that, it should be in Green Bay every year.
What was it, over 600,000?
Over 600,000 people.
Stood in a parking lot. And not phenomenal weather.
No.
That's awesome. Good for them. Good on you, Green Bay. Best fan base.
And Mel Kiper to get off TV.
Yeah, jeez.
That was abysmal. That's all my Twitter was Mel Kiper.
Yeah. I didn't watch it, so if I watched anything, it was Pat McAfee because they know ball. So
So was Mel Kiper, supposedly.
Big supposedly there.
Yeah. And we should have him on the show.
I'm good, thanks. If you want to have a
Yeah,
solo show, no, but
I'd love to interview Mel Kiper just to know what he thinks.
does he think? I mean, look at his hairdo, buddy. Does he think?
probably not.
He knows somewhat.
But I want to thank these boys. 5 days of recording in the last 10 days.
Was it 5 days?
5 total, brother.
Dude, I don't fucking know. I don't even know what day it is.
We had the NHL playoff preview, which was 2 hours of us, where I almost lost my voice because we were talking for 2 hours straight. And then we had regular show Sunday. Internet crapped out, so we had to finish on Monday. And then Jason and I tried to do something Thursday. We didn't get very much into it because you two were busy. And then the show today. Yeah. Fireworks, exactly. We're celebrating the boys. All right, we'll be back next week.
I need a raise.
The boys need a well-rested week off. But we'll see you guys next Sunday or next Monday, whenever this next episode gets out. And Chance, take us home, buddy.
I got nothing, dude. I'm out of energy.
We're out of here.
I got home from game 3 at 3:45 in the morning. I had to be at work in 15 minutes.
Jesus.
And then I had to work again later that night.
Nice.
What took so long to get home?
The game didn't start till 9:30 my time.
Oh.
Yeah. And I had to leave early
Well,
so I could make it back.
Oh, you missed part of the game?
I mean, I missed the final 2 minutes when it was 7-2.
Oh, okay.
If they came back from that, I definitely would have turned around.
Yeah. Well, if me and the boys can leave you great people with anything, if you've made it this far in life, always remember, if you're not passing in the left lane, get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.
Protection's overrated. I don't know.